Charles Oakley, happy to have you, my man. So I want to get right into it. You got in contact with me over an interview I did with Judge Mathis, where he told a story about a run-in y'all had and a little confrontation y'all had, and you got in contact with me because you wanted to come on the platform and tell your side, right?
Yeah. So it was Labor Day weekend, and every Labor Day weekend for like 10 years, I did an event in Cleveland. I did a softball game, a cookout, barbecue. I had a lounge there, and people from Chicago, Charlotte, Atlanta come in town. We played a big softball game, this and that. But that year we had the event. It was raining, and a lot of people couldn't get in that Friday. They had to come in the next day. So, I had a couple people that came in. So I had a van, a nice customized van, I had bought when I was in Toronto. And so my guy Eric from OJ's, I had an incident. Matter of fact, I had an incident in Cleveland at at this place in Cleveland, and this guy, and so just trying to front. It was a nice, like a half hour place. So from like 5 to about 7, 8, and I had altercation with this guy, and one thing led to another one, and we just left out of there. We was finna go back to my mom's house, and I got a call from Eric from OJ's because somebody called, like my brother. So somebody had called and told him what had happened at the little cocktail place. And he said, man, come on over to Detroit, man. We got a show tonight. I said, you got a show? I said, okay. We didn't have to go change or nothing. It was just 2.5 hours away from Cleveland. So we was in the van. We was 5 of us. So we drove on over there. And it was I think it was the Isaac brother and somebody else. So, but OJ's went on last. So we got there in time enough to see the OJ's. And I talked to him, he texted me after the show, said meet us over at Derek Coleman place. He had a restaurant, Sweet Georgia Brown. I said, okay, cool. He says, that's right around the corner. I said, so I hit D, and they said, yeah, we're going to be there. And so it was like a lot of celebrities, Queen Latifah, the mayor of Detroit, some of his guys, and, like I said, Queen Latifah and some of the girls. So we came in the place, it was said about 12 or 14 people, Judge Mathis, all of them. The guy from BET was there, and Queen Latifah. So I knew her from New York days. So we spoke this and that, and I had some young ladies with me. So they went to the restroom, and when they came back, I said, okay, let's go over here. And they said, well, we want to stay, hang out with Queen and all of them. I said, I asked, she said it was cool. So I said, okay, go ahead. So me, we go around the corner. It's a little lounge, like a little bar, a round bar. Me, other guys I was with, it was 2 guys. It was 2 more other guys than me and the 2 females. And so we was waiting for the OJs to come, after the show. They changed clothes, and Eric and Eddie, they came over. The mayor was there, and so we just having a good time with my man DC and his guys. And about 2 hours later, and so Judge Mathis, he they say he had plotted what he was gonna do. It was a check, and he tried to like come over there, and muscle us like, yeah, your girl's over here drinking, this and that. And I'm looking like, what is you talking about? Yeah, y'all NBA guy need. I said, hold up. What is you talking about, man? I mean, they've been over there. I mean, it's ladies, they ain't drinking like that. It's for you trying to bring us a check. You trying to be a big wheel. Now you want us to pay the tab. I didn't have a problem paying the tab. It's the way how he did it. And I'm looking at DC like, what's up with this? Let it go. Oh, I said, no. He being disrespectful, coming over here about someone came with me and tried to bring a check to me. I wouldn't mind paying for it, but it's the way he did it. And he was. So I said, yeah, y'all over here, this and that. I'm like, man, for number one, you out of order. Just come over here and say, hey, here go a check. Don't be talking and saying all this and that, because I ain't the one. And he just kept talking, this and that. And I said, no, man, I said, you better get from over here before something really happened. And he said, yeah, well, whatever gonna happen, it's gonna happen, this and that. And I said, you keep talking. He kept talking. So I stepped toward him. Eddie LaVert grabbed me, like, Oak, don't do this, man. Oak. I said, man, he's wrong for coming over here. And he's like, yeah, I know he's wrong. And I'm like, DC, you my guy. You let this man do this? D kept saying, oh. So I had to, tell D, like, man, he disrespected me and you disrespect me not checking him. So I checked him and D, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna call my guys on you. I like, call them. We right here. So I had another guy with me, right? I gave him the keys to my van. We had a big van. I said, pull around, turn the engine off, um, turn the radio off, hit the defrost, hit the brakes, because I had a spot in there that when you do that, it'll come open like a remote control. So I said, if you see something crazy go on, you know what to do. And we waited, it got out of hand. Everybody was like, oh, this and that. And we was trying like, no, he been disrespectful, this and that. So he said, I'm gonna call my guys. And I said, call him. But I heard something he said, he just had two guys came home, one did 20, 30 years. I said, okay, whatever. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I know guys that did 40, 50 years. But he just trying to be cool and trying to, this is my city. I don't care whose city it is. I wasn't disrespecting you, but you disrespect me. I don't care whose city it is. I ain't gonna let you disrespect me. So one thing led to another one. And I had to, I told the girls get to the truck and da-da-da. They kept talking. I was like, get your ass out of here. And they got mad at me because I said, like, you can't do nothing. It's a man conversation. That's why I told my guys, bring the van around front and just whatever. So it just kept going back and forth. And Eddie, like, man, don't, I said, Eddie, he's a straight lane. He's a straight little punk. And so as we leave, after about an hour, we wait outside on the way back to Cleveland. And it was in September. He said it was snow outside. So I get a call from Butch Lewis. Butch Lewis called me about 15 times. Oh, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. I said, no, he was dead wrong. Everybody say he was wrong. I know that. So time go past and da. So I see him again at Butch Lewis up in Delaware. Had a big retirement party, this and that. And I didn't mess with him because Butch Lewis, Denzel, all the guys was up there. Bob Johnson, we was playing, spades, bid whiz. And then I see him this summer at Mustafa Farrakhan's wife passed. He was there. I didn't know he was there, but him and this guy World West. I don't f with him no more neither. But anyway, they was there. He tried to come and speak to me. I said, "Motherfucker, you can't speak to me." I guess he felt safe. He was in the Mars in Chicago, so. This and that. I was so mad because he tried to speak to me. I ain't get a chance to speak to Mustafa. I just left because because I know 10, 15 more minutes, I was going to I probably would have did something to him, because he already threatened me about he going to get somebody to do something to me. But the point was he tried to speak to me. He thought he was safe. So he trying to tell his story about this and that. He's just lying. I can't believe he lied. He just flat out lying like that. And some of the guys like Eric from OJ's, I told Eddie and some other people his people from Detroit, like, we can't believe he's saying this. He had guys riding around this and that. I said, he trying to get some, trying to get some clicks or flicks or whatever they call it. But it's just so disrespectful because I'm going to see him again. I'm going to make him run a 40 fast than Deion Sanders when I see him.
So the reason why y'all got into it was because he wanted you to pay everybody tab that came with you.
It wasn't nothing. We could have paid it. It's just the way, it's just like if Derek come to Cleveland, we out kicking it. I'm from Cleveland, so this and that. He can't pay for nothing when he with me if he in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we played against one another. We had a couple incidents in New York. I came to his rescue because he was my man. And I felt safe anyway. Wherever I go, I feel safe because I carry myself the right way. But when Judge kind of come over there and, muscle us, to pay a check, I felt, oh man, this ain't gonna work. And Yeah, I've seen his little punk ass a couple of times, but he know what it is. Like I said, if he see me again, he gonna be running like Deion Sanders. He gonna hear this. And like people already like, why is he lying about it though? That's the thing is, you're a judge. I guess that Judge Brown we talking about. I'm starting to believe Judge Brown because he do some little sneaky stuff. And last guy to do sneaky stuff like that was probably Isaiah Thomas. And so he played in Detroit, so from Chicago, but he's sneaky like that. So Judge is real sneaky. So they should have dinner together because it's two sneaky guys trying to come up with some kind of sneaky things to do. Now, he better, I ain't threatening him or nothing, but hey, like I said, my brother always told me, when you do a lot of talking, you gotta be able to do some fighting. And that's what he said too. We don't fight no more. Okay. But he's just a lame, man. I can't believe, like you said, older people supposed to teach you that's what's going wrong with the young kids now. Ain't no more structure. The older people acting, want to be like the young kids. So for him to be a judge, what they said, the word for that, I don't know. He really went out the wrong door. I'll tell you that.
Gotta ask you, what would it take for both of y'all to come to a common ground and squash y'all issues?
Oh, ain't can't never squash this. He talking, that's why they got the radio to listen to the music, he talking on the radio. He talking more than the PA. This something he shouldn't be talking about. He's like he trying to go back 10 years or so in his life, and it's just he just foul for doing that. And he should have known it was gonna get back to me. So that's disrespect, and he wrong. And every time he see me, he trying to beg, the fifth or whatever. Oh man, tell somebody this and that, but you don't go around lying like that. And especially like I said, you've been a judge too, and professional people that seen what happened, so